Here you are, in this moment. Whatever brought you here tonight, whatever weight you've been carrying, whatever questions have been circling in your mind, you're here now. And that's exactly where you need to be. Take a breath. Just one slow, deep breath. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the tension you didn't even know you were holding begin to soften. This moment, right here, is yours. No demands, no expectations, no performance required. Just you and the quiet presence that has been waiting for you all day. You know that feeling when you finally get home after a long, difficult day? When you close the door behind you and feel that first wave of relief wash over you. That's what this moment is. You're home. Not just in a physical place, but in the deepest sense of the word. You're in the presence of the one who knows you completely, loves you unconditionally, and has been patiently waiting for you to find your way back to this quiet place. Maybe today felt overwhelming. Maybe you're carrying conversations that didn't go well, decisions that feel too heavy, relationships that feel strained. Maybe you're worried about tomorrow, next week, next month. Maybe you're exhausted from trying to hold everything together, from being strong for everyone else, from pretending everything is fine, when inside you feel like you're barely keeping your head above water. He sees all of it. Every worry line on your forehead, every knot of tension in your stomach, every thought that's been racing through your mind. He sees it, and his heart breaks with compassion for you. Not judgment, not disappointment, compassion. The kind of deep, understanding love that a parent has for their child who comes home scraped and bruised from the playground. You don't have to explain yourself here. You don't have to justify why you're tired, why you're stressed, why you're struggling. You don't have to put on a brave face or pretend to have it all figured out. In this quiet moment, all pretense can fall away. All the masks you wear, all the roles you play, all the expectations you try to meet, they can all be set aside now. This is the place where you can simply be. Not the person everyone else needs you to be, not the person you think you should be, but simply who you are in this moment. Tired, perhaps. Worried, maybe. Searching for peace, certainly. And that's not just okay. That's exactly why you're here. Listen to the quiet. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of peace. It's been waiting for you all day, this gentle stillness. While you were rushing from one thing to another, while you were checking items off your list, while you were solving problems and managing responsibilities, this peace was here, patient and constant, waiting for you to remember it exists. Feel how your breathing naturally begins to slow. Your heartbeat finds its natural rhythm. The noise in your mind starts to fade into the background. This isn't something you have to work for or earn. This is a gift freely given, a sanctuary always available, a refuge that never closes its doors. You matter to God in ways that go deeper than words can express. Not because of what you do, not because of how well you perform, not because of how much you accomplish, or how many people you help, or how perfect you appear to be. You matter simply because you exist. Because you are His beloved child, created with infinite care and loved with an everlasting love. Think about that for a moment. In all the vastness of the universe, with all the countless stars and galaxies, with all the complexity and beauty of creation, you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are known by name, treasured beyond measure, held in a love so deep and so complete that it forms the very foundation of your existence. This love doesn't fluctuate based on your performance. It doesn't increase when you do well or decrease when you mess up. It's not dependent on your mood, your circumstances, your successes, or your failures. It simply is. Constant as the sunrise, reliable as the tide, sure as the ground beneath your feet. When you're lying awake at night worrying about everything that could go wrong, this love is there. When you're struggling to make a difficult decision, this love is there. When you feel alone in a crowd, when you feel misunderstood by those closest to you, when you feel like you're not measuring up to expectations, this love is there, unchanging and unshakable. It's the love that knew you before you were born, that formed you in your mother's womb with such intricate care and attention to detail. It's the love that has been with you through every stage of your life, through every triumph and every heartbreak, through every moment of joy and every season of sorrow. It's the love that will be with you until the end of your days and beyond. Right now, in this quiet moment, you can rest in this love. You don't have to strive for it, work for it, or prove yourself worthy of it. You simply have to receive it. Like a child who crawls up into their parent's lap after a hard day, you can simply rest in the safety and security of being completely loved. Let your mind slow down. All those thoughts that have been spinning like a hamster wheel, all those worries that have been playing on repeat, all those scenarios you've been imagining and reimagining, They can rest now. They don't have to be solved in this moment. They don't have to be figured out right now. This is not the time for problem solving or planning or analyzing. This is the time for simply being present with the one who loves you. Feel the gentleness of this moment. There's no urgency here, no pressure, no deadline to meet. Time moves differently in the presence of God. The rushing that characterizes so much of life, the constant feeling of being behind or not having enough time, all of that fades away in this sacred space. Here, there is only now. Only this breath, this heartbeat, this moment of quiet connection. You've been working so hard. Even when you're not technically working, your mind has been busy. Busy worrying, busy planning, busy trying to figure things out, busy managing and controlling and organizing. Your soul needs this rest. It needs this pause. It needs this moment to simply stop and remember what peace feels like. This peace isn't passive. It's not emptiness or numbness. It's fullness. The fullness of being in the presence of infinite love and wisdom and power. It's the peace that comes from knowing you're not alone, you're not forgotten, and you don't have to carry everything by yourself. Imagine setting down every burden you've been carrying. Picture yourself placing each worry, each fear, each responsibility, each problem on the ground beside you. Not abandoning them or ignoring them, but simply setting them down for now. They'll still be there when you need to pick them up again, but for this moment, you don't have to hold them. Feel how much lighter you become. Feel how your chest opens up, how your breathing deepens, how your muscles relax. This is what you were made for. Not the constant carrying of heavy loads, but the regular returning to this place of rest and renewal. God delights in this moment with you. While you might feel like you're taking time away from more important things, He sees this as one of the most important things you could possibly do. This connection, this quiet communion, this simple presence. This is what He's been longing for all day. Not your work, not your achievements, not your performance, just you. Just this moment of being together. He's not checking his watch, wondering when you'll get back to your responsibilities. He's not thinking about everything you need to do tomorrow. He's fully present with you in this moment, savoring this time together like a parent savors precious moments with their child. You can trust Him with everything you've set down, every worry you've placed at His feet, every burden you've released. He's more than capable of handling it all. His wisdom surpasses your understanding. His love exceeds your ability to comprehend. His power is greater than any challenge you face. This doesn't mean everything will be easy. It doesn't mean all your problems will disappear or all your questions will be answered. But it means you don't have to face anything alone. It means there's a love and a wisdom and a strength available to you that goes far beyond your own resources. As you settle deeper into this quiet place, feel yourself sinking into safety. Like a child who finally stops fighting sleep and surrenders to the warmth and security of their parents' embrace, you can stop fighting and surrender to the peace that surrounds you. Your heart can slow down now. Your mind can grow quiet. The constant chatter of anxiety and worry can fade into whispers, and then into silence. This is your time to rest, to breathe, to remember who you are and whose you are. You are loved. You are seen. You are known. You are treasured. You are safe. You are held. In this moment, in this quiet sanctuary of the heart, all of this is profoundly, unshakably true. Let this truth settle into your bones. Let it sink deeper than your conscious thoughts, deeper than your emotions, deeper than your circumstances. Let it reach that place in your soul that knows, without needing proof or explanation, that you are exactly where you belong. The world will still be there when you return to it. Your responsibilities will still be waiting, but you'll return to them from this place of peace, carrying with you the deep knowing that you are not alone. You are deeply loved, and everything is ultimately going to be okay. For now, just rest. Just breathe. Just be present in this holy moment. Let yourself be held by the love that has been holding you all along, whether you've been aware of it or not. This love is your home, your foundation, your refuge, your strength. You're exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be here. This moment is a gift, not just to you, but to the one who loves you more than you can imagine. Rest in that love. Sink into that peace. Let yourself be carried by the grace that never lets you go. Now that you've found your way to this quiet place, now that you've begun to feel the gentle embrace of peace, it's time to do something that might feel both natural and difficult at the same time. It's time to let go of what you've been carrying. You've been holding on to so much, haven't you? Not just in your hands, but in your heart, in your mind, in the deepest parts of your soul. Some of these burdens you picked up today, others you've been carrying for weeks, months, maybe even years. They've become so familiar that you might not even realize how heavy they've become, how much they've been weighing you down. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a beautiful, still lake. The water is so clear you can see all the way to the bottom. The surface is like glass, perfectly reflecting the sky above. In your arms, you're carrying a basket filled with stones. Some are small pebbles, others are larger rocks, and a few are so heavy you can barely hold them. Each stone represents something you've been carrying. That conversation that went wrong today, there's a stone for that. The worry about your finances, your health, your relationships, more stones. The guilt over past mistakes, the anxiety about future decisions, the pressure to be perfect, to have all the answers, to never let anyone down, stone after stone after stone. You don't have to analyze each one. You don't have to justify why you picked them up in the first place. Most of the time, you didn't even choose to carry them. They just accumulated, the way stones accumulate in your shoes during a long walk. One moment you're walking freely, and the next you realize you're limping under the weight of things you never meant to pick up. But here's what you need to know, what your heart has been longing to hear. You have permission to set them down. You don't have to carry them all. You were never meant to carry them all. Start with the heaviest one. You know which one it is. It's the burden that keeps you awake at night, the worry that colors every other thought, the fear that feels too big to face. Maybe it's the fear of not being enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not successful enough, not loved enough. Maybe it's the weight of disappointment, either in yourself or in how life has turned out. Maybe it's the crushing responsibility you feel for everyone else's happiness and well-being. Whatever it is, lift it out of your basket. Feel its weight in your hands. Notice how your arms have grown tired from holding it for so long. Now, gently, carefully, place it at the edge of that still lake. You're not throwing it away carelessly or pretending it doesn't exist. You're simply saying, I don't have to carry this alone anymore. As you set it down, feel the immediate relief in your shoulders, in your back, in your arms. Feel how your whole body responds to the absence of that weight. This is what you were meant to feel like, not crushed under the burden of everything that could go wrong, but free to breathe, free to move, free to live. God sees you setting down this burden, and his heart is filled with tenderness toward you. He's not disappointed that you couldn't carry it. He never expected you to. He's proud of you for finally having the courage to let it go. He's been waiting patiently for this moment when you would trust him enough to stop trying to handle everything on your own. Now reach for another stone. This one might be the weight of perfectionism, the exhausting pressure to never make mistakes, to always have the right answer, to be the person everyone can count on no matter what. You've been trying so hard to be flawless, haven't you? Afraid that if people see your struggles, your doubts, your humanity, they might love you less. But perfection was never the requirement for love. Look at the most beautiful things in nature. The asymmetrical branches of ancient trees, the irregular patterns of snowflakes, the weathered face of a mountain that tells the story of countless storms. Beauty doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity, from the courage to be real, from the wisdom to embrace both strength and vulnerability. Set down this stone of perfectionism. Place it gently beside the first one. Feel how your chest opens up, how your breathing becomes easier. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to have all the answers to be valuable. You don't have to be strong all the time to be worthy of care and compassion. There's another stone in your basket, isn't there? The weight of past mistakes, past failures, past decisions you wish you could undo. You've been carrying this one for so long that it feels like part of you. Every time you think about moving forward, this stone reminds you of where you've stumbled before. It whispers lies about your worth, about your future, about your ability to do better. But here's a truth that can change everything. Your past does not define your future. Your mistakes do not determine your value. Your failures do not disqualify you from love, from hope, from the beautiful life that's still possible for you. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. The person you were yesterday, last year, 10 years ago, that's not the person you have to be tomorrow. You are not stuck in your mistakes. You are not condemned to repeat your failures. You are not defined by the worst things you've ever done. Lift this stone of past regret. Feel how it's been pressing into your heart, making it hard to believe in new beginnings, fresh starts, second chances. Now, with great gentleness, with great love for yourself, place it at the water's edge. Watch as the weight of your past settles into the ground, no longer something you have to carry into your future. As you release it, speak words of forgiveness to yourself. I forgive myself for not knowing better at the time. I forgive myself for the mistakes I made when I was doing the best I could with what I had. I forgive myself for being human, for being imperfect, for learning and growing through trial and error like every other person who has ever lived. God's forgiveness has already covered every mistake you've ever made or ever will make. His love for you isn't diminished by your imperfections. If anything, his heart is drawn to you in your brokenness, the way a parent's heart goes out to their injured child. He doesn't love you in spite of your humanity. He loves you in your humanity, completely and without reservation. Keep reaching into that basket. Here's the stone of anxiety about the future, the weight of all the what-ifs that have been plaguing your mind. What if you make the wrong decision? What if something terrible happens? What if you're not prepared? What if you can't handle what's coming? These fears feel so real, so urgent, so important to hold on to. Your mind tells you that if you worry enough, if you plan for every possible scenario, if you stay vigilant about everything that could go wrong, somehow you'll be safe. But worry has never prevented a single tragedy, and anxiety has never solved a single problem. All it's done is steal the joy from today, while trying to control a tomorrow that hasn't even arrived yet. The future belongs to God, not because he controls every detail like a puppeteer, but because his love is big enough to hold whatever comes, his wisdom is deep enough to guide you through any situation, and his strength is sufficient for every challenge you might face. You don't have to figure out the rest of your life tonight. You don't have to solve tomorrow's problems today. You don't have to have a perfect plan for every possible scenario. You just have to take the next right step, breathe the next breath, live the next moment with as much grace and presence as you can muster. Set down this stone of future worry. Place it alongside the others. Notice how your mind immediately starts to protest, insisting that you need to pick it back up, that something terrible will happen if you're not constantly vigilant. But resist that urge. Trust that God's love for you is vigilant enough, his care for you is constant enough, his wisdom about your future is perfect enough. There's probably another stone in there, the weight of other people's expectations, the pressure to be who they need you to be rather than who you actually are. You've been carrying this one for so long that you might have forgotten what it feels like to live from your own authentic center, rather than from the expectations of others. But you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. You are not required to sacrifice your own well-being to keep others comfortable. You are not obligated to be small so that others can feel big, or to dim your light so that others don't feel outshone. The people who truly love you want you to be yourself, not a carefully curated version designed to meet their needs. They want you to flourish, to grow, to become everything you were created to be. And the people who don't want that for you, their opinion of you is not the truth about you. Lift this stone of others' expectations. Feel how it's been shaping your choices, your words, your very sense of self. Now release it. Place it with the others. As you do, reclaim your right to be authentically, unapologetically yourself. Perhaps there's one more stone that needs to be acknowledged. The weight of loneliness, the ache of feeling misunderstood, disconnected, like you're walking through life with a piece of glass between you and everyone else. This might be the heaviest stone of all, because humans were created for connection, for community, for the deep knowing that comes from being truly seen and understood. But even in your loneliness, you are not alone. Even when you feel most isolated, most misunderstood, most like an outsider looking in, you are held by a love that never leaves, never abandons, never turns away. This love sees through all your defenses to the real you underneath. This love understands your heart, even when you can't find words to express what you're feeling. You may feel lonely among people, but you are never alone in the deepest sense. The love that created you, that sustains you, that will never let you go, that love is with you always, closer than your own breath, more constant than your own heartbeat. Set down this stone of loneliness too. As you place it with the others, know that you are surrounded by a love so vast, so encompassing, so complete that it fills every empty space in your heart. Look at all the stones you've set down. See how they rest there at the water's edge, no longer weighing you down, no longer consuming your energy, no longer defining your experience of life. You don't have to pretend they don't exist. They're part of your story, part of what has shaped you, but they don't have to be part of what you carry forward. Feel the lightness in your body now. Feel how your shoulders have dropped, how your breathing has deepened, how your heart has more room to beat freely. This is what you were meant to feel like. Not burdened and overwhelmed, but free and light, and able to move through life with grace and ease. This lightness isn't irresponsibility. It's not denial or avoidance. It's the recognition that you were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You were meant to carry only what belongs to you, and even then, you were meant to share that load with the one who is strong enough to help you bear it. God takes great joy in your freedom. He delights in seeing you unencumbered, able to dance through life rather than trudge through it. He never wanted you weighed down by worry and fear and guilt and shame. He wanted you free, free to love, free to laugh, free to explore all the beauty and wonder and possibility that surrounds you. As you stand there by the still water, no longer carrying what you don't need to carry, take a moment to appreciate this feeling. Remember it. Let it sink into your memory so that when you start to pick up stones again, and you will, because that's what humans do, you'll remember that you always have the choice to set them down. You are not a pack animal, meant to bear endless burdens. You are a beloved child, meant to live in freedom and joy and peace. The stones will always be there if you need to examine them, if you need to learn from them, if you need to make decisions about them. But you don't have to carry them all the time. This moment of release, this experience of setting down what's too heavy for you to bear alone, this is not a one-time event. This is a practice, a discipline, a way of living. Every day, you can come to this still water. Every day, you can set down what doesn't belong to you. Every day, you can choose freedom over bondage, lightness over heaviness, trust over worry. God is holding everything you've released. Nothing is lost, nothing is abandoned, nothing is forgotten. But now these burdens are where they belong, in hands that are big enough to hold them, in a heart that is strong enough to bear them, in a love that is wise enough to know exactly what to do with them. Rest in this lightness. Breathe in this freedom. Let yourself feel what it's like to be unencumbered, to be released from the weight of everything you've been carrying. This is your natural state. This is how you were meant to live. This is the gift of grace, not just forgiveness for what you've done wrong, but freedom from trying to carry what you were never meant to carry in the first place. You are free. You are light. You are held. And you are so deeply, completely, utterly loved. Now that you've set down those heavy stones, now that you've felt the sweet relief of releasing what you were never meant to carry, let's take a moment to remember something beautiful. Let's remember all the ways you've been held, all the times you've been carried, all the moments when love showed up exactly when you needed it most. Your memory might be clouded by recent struggles, by current worries, by the stones you just set down. When we're in the middle of difficulty, it's easy to forget the good things, the times when everything worked out, the moments when grace appeared like morning light breaking through the darkness. But they're there, these memories of faithfulness, waiting to remind you of a truth your heart needs to hear. You have never been abandoned, not even once. Think back to a time when you were genuinely afraid something wouldn't work out. Maybe it was a job you desperately needed, a relationship that was hanging by a thread, a health scare that kept you awake at night, a financial crisis that seemed impossible to resolve. Remember how big that problem felt, how it consumed your thoughts, how it seemed like the most important thing in the world. Now remember how it ended. Not perfectly, perhaps. Not exactly the way you would have written the story. But you made it through, didn't you? Somehow, some way, a path opened up that you couldn't see when you were in the middle of the crisis. Resources appeared that you didn't know existed. People showed up to help in ways you never expected. Strength rose up within you that surprised even yourself. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't luck. This was love in action, faithfulness at work, grace making a way where there seemed to be no way. The same love that carried you through that difficult season is the same love that surrounds you right now, in this moment, as you sit in this quiet place. Remember the time you thought your heart would never heal from that deep disappointment, that profound loss, that devastating betrayal. The pain felt so intense, so permanent, so all-consuming that you couldn't imagine ever feeling whole again. You wondered if you would ever laugh again, ever trust again, ever hope again. But here you are. Your heart did heal, didn't it? Not without scars, not without learning, not without growing in ways you never expected. But it healed. The pain that felt like it would last forever eventually began to soften. The wound that seemed so deep eventually began to close. The darkness that felt so complete eventually began to give way to light. You didn't heal alone. Even when you felt most isolated, most broken, most convinced that no one could understand what you were going through, you were being held by a love that understands every kind of pain, every depth of sorrow, every reason for tears. This love didn't take away your pain, but it sat with you in it. It didn't eliminate your suffering, but it transformed it into something that made you more compassionate, more resilient, more capable of helping others who walk through similar valleys. Think about the times when you were facing a decision that felt too big, too important, too overwhelming to make. You didn't have enough information. You couldn't predict all the outcomes. You were afraid of making the wrong choice, of disappointing people, of setting yourself up for failure or regret. But you made the decision anyway, didn't you? And even if it wasn't perfect, even if it led to unexpected challenges, even if you had to adjust course along the way, you learned something valuable. You discovered that you're more resilient than you thought, more adaptable than you believed, more capable of handling uncertainty than you ever imagined. More than that, you discovered that wrong turns don't have to be dead ends. Mistakes don't have to be permanent. Even when you choose imperfectly, love finds a way to work with your choices, to redeem your errors, to bring beauty out of your brokenness. Remember the season when you felt most alone, most misunderstood, most like you were walking through life without anyone who truly saw you or got you. Maybe you were in a new city where you didn't know anyone. Maybe you were going through something that none of your friends had experienced. Maybe you were carrying a secret that felt too heavy to share. But even in that loneliness, you weren't truly alone, were you? Love found ways to reach you. Maybe through a stranger's unexpected kindness, a book that spoke directly to your heart, a song that put words to feelings you couldn't express, a sunset that reminded you there was still beauty in the world. Maybe through your own inner strength rising up to meet the challenge, your own wisdom growing deeper in the silence, your own capacity for independence expanding in ways that surprised you. The love that reached you in those moments of isolation is still reaching for you now. It never stopped. It never will stop. Even when you can't feel it, even when you can't see it, even when you're convinced it's not there, this love is working behind the scenes of your life, orchestrating moments of grace, preparing the way forward, holding all the pieces of your story together in ways you can't yet see. Think about the times when you surprised yourself with your own strength, when you thought you couldn't handle one more thing, and then something else happened, and you handled that too. When you believed you had reached your limit, and then life asked you to stretch even further, and somehow you found the capacity to do it. Where did that strength come from? It wasn't just your own willpower or determination, though those mattered. It wasn't just your own resources or resilience, though those played a part. That strength came from a source deeper than your conscious mind, stronger than your physical body, more reliable than your emotional state. That strength came from love itself, flowing through you, sustaining you, enabling you to do what you thought was impossible. This same strength is available to you right now. Not just for crisis moments, not just for emergency situations, but for ordinary days when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or inadequate. This strength doesn't depend on you feeling strong. It doesn't require you to have it all together. It flows most freely when you acknowledge your need for it, when you stop trying to generate it on your own, and instead open yourself to receive it from its true source. Remember the people who showed up in your life exactly when you needed them most. The friend who called just when you were feeling most alone. The mentor who believed in you when you couldn't believe in yourself. The stranger who offered help without being asked. The family member who saw through your defenses to the hurt underneath and responded with exactly the kind of love you needed. These weren't random occurrences. These were love letters written in human form, grace delivered through flesh and blood, faithfulness expressed through ordinary people who were moved by an extraordinary love to reach out to you in your time of need. And you've been that person for others too, haven't you? You've been the one who showed up at just the right moment, who said just the right words, who offered just the right kind of help. You've been love in action in someone else's story, grace with skin on in someone else's moment of need. This is how love works in the world, not just through dramatic miracles or supernatural interventions, though those happen too, but through the ordinary miracle of human beings choosing to care for each other, to see each other, to show up for each other in both big and small ways. Think about the times when something you were dreading turned out to be not nearly as bad as you expected. The conversation you were afraid to have that actually brought you closer to someone. The challenge you thought would break you that instead revealed strength you didn't know you had. The change you were resisting that turned out to open doors you never would have walked through otherwise. Your imagination is remarkably creative when it comes to inventing worst-case scenarios, isn't it? You can envision disaster in vivid detail, play out catastrophic outcomes with cinematic clarity, anticipate pain and failure and rejection with stunning precision. But how often do these imagined disasters actually come to pass? How many of the things you've worried about have actually happened exactly as you feared they would? Most of the suffering in your life has been imaginary suffering. The pain of things that haven't happened yet and may never happen. The grief over losses that haven't occurred. the fear of scenarios that exist only in your mind. The actual challenges you've faced have been difficult enough without adding the weight of imaginary ones on top of them. But here's what you can trust. The same love that has carried you through every real challenge you've actually faced will carry you through whatever real challenges lie ahead. You don't have to solve imaginary problems or prepare for imaginary disasters. You just have to show up for your actual life, one day at a time, one moment at a time, trusting that you'll receive what you need when you need it. Remember the times when you received exactly what you needed, exactly when you needed it, in ways you never could have orchestrated yourself. The opportunity that came out of nowhere, just when you were running out of options. The wisdom that dropped into your heart just when you needed to know what to do. The peace that settled over you just when anxiety was threatening to overwhelm you. These provisions weren't earned through your good behavior or your positive thinking. They weren't rewards for your faith or your hard work, though faith and hard work have their place. They were gifts, pure and simple. Expressions of a love that knows what you need before you ask for it, that sees what you're lacking before you're even aware of the lack. This same love is paying attention to your life right now. It sees what you need for tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It's already preparing what you'll require, already arranging the circumstances that will serve your highest good, already placing the people and opportunities and resources in your path that will help you become everything you were created to be. You don't have to worry about whether you'll have what you need when you need it. You don't have to figure out how all the pieces will come together. You don't have to manipulate circumstances or control outcomes or force doors to open. You just have to keep walking forward with confidence that the path will unfold beneath your feet, that the way will become clear as you take each step. Think about the ways you've grown through difficulty, the wisdom you've gained through struggle, the compassion you've developed through your own pain. None of it was wasted. Even the hardest seasons of your life have contributed something valuable to who you are today. They've given you depth, resilience, empathy, strength. They've taught you what really matters and what doesn't. They've shown you what you're capable of enduring and overcoming. This doesn't mean that suffering is good or that pain is necessary for growth. It means that love is so powerful, so creative, so redemptive that it can take even the worst things that happen to you and weave them into something beautiful, something meaningful, something that serves not just your own healing, but the healing of others who will walk similar paths. The broken places in your life haven't disqualified you from love or from purpose. They've become the very places through which love flows most freely, the cracks through which light enters, the wounded places through which healing reaches others who carry similar wounds. Remember the times when you felt most grateful, most aware of how blessed you are, most conscious of the goodness that surrounds you. Maybe it was after recovering from illness, when every healthy day felt like a gift. Maybe it was after a period of loneliness, when connection felt precious and friendship felt sacred. Maybe it was after a time of financial struggle, when having enough felt like abundance. These moments of gratitude weren't just emotional peaks or temporary states of mind. They were glimpses of truth, clear-eyed recognitions of the grace that flows through your life every single day, but that you often take for granted. In those moments, you saw your life as it really is. Not perfect, not without challenges, but fundamentally blessed, fundamentally held, fundamentally surrounded by love. That gratitude-inducing truth hasn't changed. The blessings you saw so clearly in those moments are still there. The love you felt so keenly is still flowing. The grace you recognized so gratefully is still sustaining you, still providing for you, still working in and through and around you in countless ways you don't even notice. Right now, as you sit in this quiet moment, you are breathing without having to think about it. Your heart is beating without your conscious control. Your body is performing millions of cellular processes that keep you alive and healthy without any effort on your part. The earth is spinning on its axis. The sun is burning at exactly the right temperature and distance to sustain life. The laws of physics are operating with perfect consistency to keep everything in your world functioning as it should. This is faithfulness in action. This is love expressed through the ordinary miracle of existence itself. You are being held by forces so reliable, so constant, so perfectly calibrated that you rarely even think about them. But they're there, sustaining you every moment of every day, providing the foundation upon which your entire life is built. The same faithful love that keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing is the love that has been writing your story from the very beginning. It's the love that brought you into existence, that has guided you through every chapter of your life so far, that will continue to guide you through whatever chapters lie ahead. This love doesn't promise that everything will be easy. It doesn't guarantee that you'll never face difficulty or disappointment or loss. But it does promise that you'll never face anything alone, that every challenge will come with the grace to meet it, that every valley will eventually give way to higher ground. As you rest in this quiet moment, let these memories of faithfulness settle deep into your heart. Let them build a foundation of trust that can't be shaken by temporary circumstances or momentary fears. Let them remind you of who you are, not a victim of random forces or cruel fate, but a beloved child of a love that has never failed you and never will. You are held by faithfulness itself. You are sustained by love that never changes, never wavers, never grows tired or distracted or overwhelmed. This love has been your constant companion through every season of your life, and it will be your constant companion through every season yet to come. Rest in this truth. Let it soak into your bones, settle into your soul, become the bedrock upon which you build your hope for tomorrow. You are not walking into an uncertain future. You are walking deeper into a love that has already proven its faithfulness in countless ways, and will continue to prove it every day for the rest of your life. You are safe. You are held. You are loved beyond measure. And you always, always, always have been. Now that you've remembered all the ways love has shown up in your life, all the times you've been carried through difficulty, all the moments when grace appeared exactly when you needed it most, let's settle into something even deeper. Let's rest in the profound truth of how completely, unconditionally, and eternally you are loved. This isn't the kind of love you have to earn through good behavior or maintain through perfect performance. This isn't the kind of love that fluctuates based on your mood, your circumstances, or your latest mistake. This is the love that saw you before you were born and called you into existence. This is the love that knows every thought you've ever had, every tear you've ever shed, every fear you've ever carried, and loves you not in spite of these things, but because of them, because they make you uniquely, irreplaceably you. Take a moment to let that sink in. You are known completely and loved completely. Not the version of yourself that you present to the world, not the carefully curated image you try to maintain, not the person you think you should be or wish you were. The real you, the you that exists in your most private moments, in your deepest thoughts, in your secret struggles and hidden dreams. That you is loved with a love so vast, so encompassing, so complete that it defies comprehension. You know how it feels to be misunderstood, don't you? To have someone jump to conclusions about your motives, to have your words twisted or your actions misinterpreted. You know the loneliness of feeling like no one really gets you, like everyone is relating to a version of you that isn't quite accurate, like you're always having to explain yourself, or defend yourself, or prove yourself. But there is one who understands you perfectly, one who sees past your defenses to the tender heart underneath, one who knows why you react the way you do, why certain things trigger you, why you're afraid of what you're afraid of, one who sees not just what you do, but why you do it, not just your behavior, but the deep longings and unhealed wounds that drive that behavior. This understanding doesn't come with judgment or condemnation. It comes with infinite compassion, with the kind of tender love that a parent has for their child who is struggling, who is doing their best but still making mistakes, who is learning and growing and becoming, but isn't there yet. You are not a project to be fixed or a problem to be solved. You are a beloved child to be cherished, celebrated, and delighted in. God doesn't look at you and see everything that's wrong with you. He looks at you and sees everything that's right with you, everything that's beautiful about you, everything that makes him smile with joy at the wonder of your existence. Right now, in this moment, there is nothing you need to do to increase God's love for you. There is nothing you could do to decrease it. You don't need to pray harder, serve more, sin less, or be better. You don't need to figure out your purpose, or fix your problems, or get your life together. You just need to receive what has already been freely given, the gift of being completely, unconditionally, eternally loved. This love isn't based on your potential or your performance. It's based on your existence. You matter to God not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You are his beloved child, created in his image, formed with his own hands, breathed into life by his own breath. You carry within you something of the divine, something sacred, something that makes you infinitely precious and valuable. Even on your worst days, when you feel like a failure, when you're disappointed in yourself, when you're sure you've messed up beyond repair, you are still his beloved. Even when you're angry at God, when you're questioning his goodness, when you're struggling to believe he even exists, you are still his beloved. Even when you feel far from him, when you feel like you've wandered too far to find your way back, when you feel like you've exhausted his patience or his grace, you are still his beloved. There is no distance you could travel that would take you outside the reach of his love. There is no mistake you could make that would cause him to love you less. There is no sin you could commit that would surprise him or shock him or cause him to withdraw his affection. His love for you is not conditional, not performance-based, not dependent on your behavior or your faith or your worthiness. This love is your birthright, your inheritance, your home. It's the truest thing about you, the deepest reality of your existence, the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. You may forget it sometimes. You may doubt it or question it or find it hard to believe. But it never changes, never wavers, never grows cold or distant or distracted. Imagine for a moment that you could see yourself the way God sees you, not through the lens of your own self-criticism or the harsh judgments you've internalized from others, but through the eyes of perfect love. What would you see? You would see someone who is trying their best, even when their best doesn't feel like enough. You would see someone who cares deeply, even when they don't know how to show it. You would see someone who is braver than they know, stronger than they feel, more loved than they can imagine. You would see the child who once dreamed big dreams and believed in magic. You would see the adolescent who felt everything so intensely and wondered if they would ever find their place in the world. You would see the young adult who was trying to figure out who they were and what they wanted to become. You would see every version of yourself that has ever existed, held together by the continuous thread of divine love. You would see your wounds, yes, but you would also see how those wounds have created capacity for compassion. You would see your struggles, but you would also see how those struggles have built resilience. You would see your mistakes, but you would also see how those mistakes have led to growth and wisdom and humility. You would see someone who is not finished yet, someone who is still becoming, someone who is loved not for who they might become, but for who they are right now, in this moment, in this imperfect but beautiful state of being. This is how God sees you. This is how God has always seen you. This is how God will always see you. Not as a disappointment or a problem or a work in progress, but as a masterpiece, a beloved child, a source of joy and delight and wonder. You bring God joy. Did you know that? Your existence, your personality, your quirks and interests, and the unique way you see the world, all of this brings God joy. When you laugh, He laughs with you. When you discover something beautiful, He delights in your delight. When you love someone, He celebrates the love that flows through you. You are not a burden to God. You are not too much for Him to handle. You are not too broken for Him to love, too complicated for Him to understand, too far gone for Him to reach. You are His beloved child, and He takes infinite pleasure in you. This love is your safe place, your sanctuary, your refuge. When the world feels hostile or indifferent, when people disappoint you or hurt you or fail to see your worth, you can come here. You can rest in the knowledge that you are seen, known, understood, and cherished by the one whose opinion matters most. You don't have to earn this love, or maintain it, or prove yourself worthy of it. You don't have to be perfect, or have all the answers, or never make mistakes. You don't have to be strong all the time, or happy all the time, or spiritual all the time. You just have to be yourself, the real, authentic, imperfect, beautiful, beloved person that you are. In this love, you are safe to be vulnerable, safe to be honest, safe to be human. You don't have to hide your struggles, or pretend to be okay when you're not. You don't have to put on a brave face or maintain a perfect image. You can bring your whole self, your doubts and fears, your hopes and dreams, your pain and your joy, and know that all of it is welcomed, all of it is held, all of it is loved. This love is patient with your process. It doesn't rush you or pressure you or demand that you grow faster than you're able. It meets you where you are and walks with you at your own pace. It celebrates every small step forward and offers comfort and encouragement when you stumble or fall back. This love is gentle with your wounds. It doesn't minimize your pain or tell you to get over it or suggest that you should be further along in your healing than you are. It tends to your hurts with infinite care and tenderness, offering healing not as a quick fix, but as a gradual, gentle process of restoration. This love is proud of you, not just when you succeed or achieve something impressive, but when you get up after falling down, when you choose kindness over bitterness, when you keep going even when it's hard. God is proud of your courage, your resilience, your determination to keep growing and learning and becoming. This love sees your potential, but it also loves you exactly as you are right now. It doesn't love you for who you might become someday. It loves you for who you are today, in this moment, with all your current limitations and struggles and imperfections. You are enough. Right now, just as you are enough. You don't need to be smarter or stronger or more spiritual or more successful. You don't need to have it all figured out or have all your problems solved. You are enough, exactly as you are, in this moment. This doesn't mean you can't grow or change or become more than you are now. It means that your worth, your value, your belovedness isn't dependent on your growth or change or becoming. You're already precious, already valuable, already beloved. Any growth or change or becoming is just the natural overflow of being loved so completely, so unconditionally, so eternally. Rest in this love. Let it wrap around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. Let it fill up all the empty spaces in your heart, all the places where you've been carrying rejection or abandonment or the fear that you're not enough. Let it heal the wounds that have been telling you lies about your worth, your value, your place in this world. You belong here. You belong in this love, in this life, in this world. You are not an accident or a mistake or an afterthought. You are a beloved child of the Most High, created with intention and purpose and infinite care. You are wanted, you are needed, you are treasured beyond measure. This love will never leave you. It will never abandon you or reject you or decide you're too much trouble to bother with. It will be with you in every season of your life, through every joy and every sorrow, through every triumph and every failure. It will be with you when you're at your best and when you're at your worst. It will be with you when you feel close to God and when you feel far away. It will be with you in this life and in whatever comes after. You are held by this love right now. You are surrounded by it, sustained by it, filled with it. It is closer to you than your own breath, more constant than your own heartbeat, more real than anything you can see or touch or feel. It is the deepest truth about you, the most important fact of your existence, the foundation upon which everything else is built. Let yourself sink into this love. Let yourself be carried by it. Let yourself rest in the absolute certainty that you are loved beyond your wildest dreams, beyond your greatest fears, beyond your deepest doubts. You are God's beloved child, and nothing in all of creation can change that truth. Nothing you have done or will do can separate you from this love. Nothing you have said or will say can diminish it. Nothing you have thought or will think can shock it or surprise it or cause it to withdraw. This love is yours, completely and forever, without condition or reservation or limit. You are beloved. You are treasured. You are cherished. You are God's joy, God's delight, God's precious child. Rest in this truth. Let it fill you with peace, with hope, with the deep security that comes from knowing you are loved by the one who matters most. This is your true identity. This is who you really are. This is the truth that no circumstance can change, no failure can erase, no wound can destroy. You are the beloved of God, and you always will be. And now, as this quiet moment draws to a gentle close, as you've felt the weight of your burdens lifted, as you've remembered the countless ways you've been held and carried, as you've rested in the profound truth of how deeply you are loved, it's time for the most beautiful surrender of all. It's time to release tomorrow into the hands that have held you so faithfully through all your yesterdays. You've been trying so hard to figure everything out, haven't you? Planning and worrying, and trying to control outcomes that are beyond your control. You've been carrying tomorrow's concerns along with today's responsibilities, borrowing trouble from a future that hasn't even arrived yet, exhausting yourself with the impossible task of managing what hasn't happened and may never happen. But tomorrow doesn't belong to you. It never has. Tomorrow belongs to the same love that has orchestrated every blessing in your life, that has provided for every need, that has made a way through every impossible situation you've ever faced. Tomorrow is safe in hands that are far more capable than yours, held by a wisdom that sees what you cannot see, guided by a love that wants your good even more than you do. Think about tonight, this very night that stretches out before you. In just a few hours, you'll lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes. Your conscious mind will quiet, your body will relax, and you'll enter into that mysterious state of rest that God designed to restore and refresh you. You'll sleep peacefully not because you've solved all your problems or figured out all your challenges, but because you trust that the world will keep turning without your conscious supervision. This nightly surrender to sleep is one of the most profound acts of faith you perform. Every night, you release control. Every night, you trust that your heart will keep beating, your lungs will keep breathing, your body will keep functioning while your conscious mind rests. Every night, you demonstrate that you know there are forces at work in your life that are bigger than your ability to manage or control. The same trust that allows you to sleep peacefully can carry you into tomorrow with equal peace. Just as you don't lie awake all night worried about whether your heart will remember to beat or your lungs will remember to breathe, You don't need to lie awake worried about whether God will remember to provide for you tomorrow, whether He'll remember to guide you, whether He'll remember to love you. His care for you doesn't depend on your vigilance. His provision for your future doesn't require your constant planning and preparation. His love for you doesn't need your anxiety to activate it, or your worry to sustain it. He has been taking care of you long before you were aware enough to worry about it, and He will continue taking care of you long after your last worry has been forgotten. As you prepare to leave this quiet place and return to the rhythms of your life, imagine placing tomorrow, all of it, every concern and question and challenge it might bring, into God's hands. Picture yourself lifting up the weight of future decisions, future conversations, future uncertainties, and gently, trustingly, placing them into hands that are strong enough to hold them, wise enough to handle them, loving enough to work them out for your good. You don't need to know how everything will work out. You don't need to have a plan for every possible scenario. You don't need to figure out the answers to questions that haven't even been asked yet. You just need to take the next step, and then the next one after that, trusting that each step will be illuminated as you come to it. This isn't irresponsibility or denial. This is the deepest kind of wisdom. The recognition that your life is held by something bigger than your own understanding, guided by something wiser than your own intelligence, sustained by something stronger than your own willpower. This is the peace that comes from knowing your story is being written by the author of all stories, directed by the one who can see the ending from the beginning. Tomorrow will bring what it brings. Some of it will be wonderful, unexpected joys, pleasant surprises, moments of beauty and connection and grace that you cannot anticipate, but that are already being prepared for you. Some of it may be challenging, difficulties to navigate, problems to solve, growth opportunities disguised as obstacles. All of it will be held within the embrace of a love that never leaves you, never fails you, never gives you more than you can handle with His help. You will wake up tomorrow with everything you need for tomorrow. Not everything you think you need, perhaps, but everything you actually need. The strength for tomorrow's challenges will be there tomorrow. The wisdom for tomorrow's decisions will be available when the decisions need to be made. The grace for tomorrow's difficulties will flow when the difficulties arise. This is how it's always worked in your life, isn't it? You've never been given strength for challenges that were still months away. You've never received wisdom for decisions you wouldn't need to make for years. Grace has always been provided just in time, in the moment when you needed it most. Tomorrow will be no different. As you settle into sleep tonight, or into whatever rest awaits you, carry with you the deep knowing that you are watched over. While you sleep, love is working on your behalf. While you rest, grace is preparing the way forward. While your conscious mind is quiet, the one who never sleeps is arranging circumstances, moving hearts, opening doors, closing others, orchestrating the countless details of your life with perfect wisdom and infinite care. You don't have to stay awake to make sure everything gets taken care of. You don't have to keep thinking about your problems to ensure they get solved. You don't have to maintain a constant state of worry to prove that you care about your responsibilities. Worry is not love. Anxiety is not care. Losing sleep over things you cannot control is not wisdom. True love, true care, true wisdom look like this. Doing what you can do today, and then resting in the confidence that tomorrow's grace will be sufficient for tomorrow's needs. Working diligently when it's time to work, and then sleeping peacefully when it's time to sleep. Taking responsibility for what is yours to handle, and then trusting God with what is His to handle. Tonight, as you close your eyes, you can release every person you've been worrying about into God's care. Your children, your parents, your spouse, your friends. They are all held by the same love that holds you. Their stories are being written by the same author who is writing yours. Their needs are known by the same provider who knows yours. Their hearts are tended by the same gentle shepherd who tends yours. You can release every situation you've been trying to control. That relationship that needs healing, that decision that needs to be made, that problem that needs to be solved. All of it can be placed into hands that are far more capable than yours. You've done what you can do for today. Tomorrow you'll do what you can do tomorrow. And in between, love will be at work in ways you cannot see, accomplishing things you cannot accomplish, preparing solutions you cannot imagine. You can release every fear about the future into God's perfect love. That health concern that's been nagging at you, that financial worry that's been keeping you up at night, that relationship challenge that's been consuming your thoughts. Perfect love casts out fear, not by eliminating every possible source of concern, but by surrounding you with a presence so strong, so reliable, so completely trustworthy that fear loses its power to torment you. This doesn't mean bad things will never happen. It means that whatever happens, you won't face it alone. Whatever comes, you'll have the grace to handle it. Whatever challenges arise, you'll find the strength to meet them. Whatever losses you experience, you'll discover that love is stronger than loss, that hope is more powerful than despair, that light ultimately overcomes darkness. As this quiet moment comes to an end, take one more deep breath. Feel the peace that has settled into your heart during this time of rest and reflection. Notice how different you feel now than when you first arrived here. Lighter, calmer, more at peace, more trusting. This is your natural state. This is how you were meant to live. Not anxious and burdened and overwhelmed, but peaceful and free and confident in love's ability to handle whatever comes. You can return to this place anytime you need to. This quiet sanctuary of the heart is always available to you. Whenever the noise of the world becomes too loud, whenever the weight of responsibility feels too heavy, whenever worry threatens to steal your peace, you can come back here. You can set down your burdens again, remember your belovedness again, surrender your tomorrows again. This isn't a one-time experience. This is a way of living, a practice of returning again and again to the truth of who you are and whose you are, a discipline of releasing what you cannot control and trusting the one who can, a rhythm of working and resting, of doing and being, of striving and surrendering. God is smiling at you right now. He delights in this time you've spent together, in your willingness to slow down and listen, in your courage to release what you've been carrying, in your openness to receive the love that has always been yours. He's proud of you for taking this time, for prioritizing this connection, for choosing peace over productivity, being overdoing. You are his beloved child, and he takes infinite joy in you. As you go forward into tomorrow, carry this truth with you. Let it be the lens through which you see yourself, the foundation upon which you build your choices, the source from which you draw your strength. Tomorrow is in good hands. The best hands. Hands that have never failed you, never forgotten you, never let you down. Hands that formed you, that have guided you to this moment, that will continue to guide you through every moment yet to come. Rest well tonight. Sleep deeply. Dream peacefully. Wake refreshed and renewed, ready to live another day as the beloved child you are, trusting in the love that never fails, never ends, never lets you go. You are safe. You are held. You are loved beyond measure. And all is well with your soul. Go in peace, dear one. Go in the confidence of being completely, eternally, unshakably loved. Tomorrow is waiting for you, and it is held in the same hands that have held you through everything that brought you to this beautiful moment. All is grace. All is gift. All is well. Rest now. You are home in the heart of love itself, and nothing can ever change that truth. Peace be with you, now and always. Amen.